Hey, what's up guys, Totally Dubbed here, and today I'm very excited to be unboxing the EVGA GeForce GTX Titan Black. So this is not actually mine, nor was it sent for review, unfortunately. It is actually my friend's, and I'm very honored for him to be actually choosing me to actually unbox it and actually show you guys some brief benchmarks with it. I'm not going to do a review because I do not feel I am capable of doing a full graphics card review, simply because I do not have enough graphics card in my arsenal for me to compare it with. And for me, a review has to compare different graphics cards and at different price points. And unfortunately, I do not have that luxury because I am not super rich or super famous on YouTube or on the net. So therefore, I'm not going to do a review. However, what I'm going to do, instead of keeping it, not making it a boring unboxing and overview, is that I'm also going to do certain interesting things. For example, power consumption on idle and power consumption on full load whilst running a benchmark. Some quick benchmark analysis in comparison to an SLI 680 system, which is my system. My system has an i7-3770K, which is overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. The CPU has been delidded, and then I've got SLI 2 gigabyte cards each in there, which are 680s with a core clock of 1111. So it'll be a really nice benchmark to compare it to. I must say, this Titan Black is not very much different in terms of gaming performance when it comes in comparison to a 680 Ti. However, the beauty of a Titan Black, it comes with 6 gigabytes of VRAM that you can use, whereas a 680 Ti comes with only 3 gigabytes. When I say only, the reason I'm saying only is because for people which are going to be developers, i.e. my friend, then you're going to need something with a lot of extra bandwidth and extra memory. Just to show you, you first of all get a art of the game poster, which is quite nice. I'm not going to use that or open that, leave that to my good old trusty friend. By the way, my friend is my developer on my website. Go check him out. His name is Kai. I'll link in the description below his website, and you can check out some of his work. And he's been helping me with my website and actually done a lot of the things, so it's unbelievable that the things that he's doing. So anyway, you've got some nice stickers, which again I'm not going to use, but it's nice if you want to stick it to your PC. You get a manual, which is probably going to be bog standard, and a driver disc, which is always useful, which we're going to need. Some certain things like attention, watch out, obviously, for example, plug in your PCIe connection, which I'm going to show you on my PC. I'm going to take a picture or do a video and show you that. And yes, it is kind of sharp. The heat sinks, they're always sharp, they're really annoying. Anyway, that's a nice black disc, you know, to suit with the theme, sorry. So let's open these up. Let's see what goodies we've got. So we've got another little EVGA, not a sticker, well, it looks like a sticker, but it's metal, which is really nice. I'm sure my friend's gonna love that one. And we've got a couple of connectors. So we got a VGA to DVI converter. In all honesty, you should never ever use this. If you're gonna get this card, you should be not on VGA. You should really be on something a bit higher than that. You should be on DVI or HDMI. These ones I am gonna open, however, because I'm gonna use them for my power connection. Actually, what are they? These are. Well, I'll open it so you guys can see them, so that you can see what the difference is. Okay, well, it's a Molex to PCI converter, which I'm not going to need. Well, I don't think I'm going to need, simply because I've got my PSU is capable of that, and I think this is the same thing again, yeah, which I'm not going to need to open, just to show you guys. I should mention that you're going to need at least a 500 to 700 watts PSU for this. I've got a 750 Corsair AX750, and it should be more than sufficient. On SLI, 680 SLI, with my whole system running a Battlefield 4 or running Heaven benchmark, it uses 500 to 550 watts. So it just gives you an idea of how much power consumption it uses, like realistically. So you're not going to need excessive amounts of power, but obviously if you're going to SLI these, then you're probably going to look at a 1000 watt power supply. So here is the card itself. So I'm just going to open this up. I'm just going to get rid of static, just in case I've got static, by just touching some metal. So the last thing you want to do is fry a card before you've even actually used it. So it looks like a beautiful card, I must say. Here we go. I know I shouldn't probably put it on the static bag. What I'm going to do is get the box out, because you're not going to get anything that's going to be transmitted via this. So as you can see, the card looks very beautiful. You're going to want to remove these plastic bits over here, simply because you're going to need some airflow coming out. I need to try and get my nails in. There we go, got it there. That's actually just for looks. It's actually solid right there. You got the fan, which is very nice there. Heatsink there. You've got a nice logo of the GeForce GTX. If I'm not mistaken, this should light up as well. You got an EVGA branded plastic over here, which is used for the SLI, which I won't be using or needing. I'll get that off just in case it causes any problems. Over here we've got DVI-D, DVI-I, DisplayPort and HDMI. What I'm going to be using is DVI-D, so I'm not going to need the other connections. I'm just going to get them out just in case. I don't want them causing any problems or causing the system to get confused. But yeah, you want to plug it in DVI-D. It normally doesn't matter, but you might as well plug it in DVI-D, which is the one which is not starred, as you're able to see DVI-I. The difference is I is interlaced, so sometimes some monitors don't like it, so you want to plug it into DVI-D. It's the better out of the two. Get this rubber bit off over here for the connection. Underneath, I'm just going to put my finger over, I think is a serial number, which I don't know if I revealed or not, but it doesn't really matter. But there is the back of the card, which is really nice indeed. And I am very much looking forward to running this baby on my system. So what I'm going to do is go and install it, and I'm going to resume this video when it's installed. And then I'm going to have to uninstall the drivers, reinstall the drivers from the ground up, make sure it's a clean install, and then overclock my monitor on that, because I have my monitor overclocked to 96 Hz, and that's the QNX QX2710. So I'm going to do that, and then once I've done that, I have it running, then I'm going to show you guys some benchmarks on the PC that I've ran, and it gives you a nice overview of this card. Again, I'm not going to do a review, nor is this going to be a review, but I thought to spice things up, instead of doing a normal boring unboxing, do something a little bit special as well. Alright guys, so I'll be back in a little bit. Hey guys, so I'm back. As you can see, the GTX Titan Black is installed properly. Remember, it's going to be you need an 8-pin and a 6-pin connector from your PSU, which I have. And so there you go. Just to show you the voltage meter, wattage for the current as well, it's 0.4 right now, and the computer is off. And that is simply because I think the light or something like that is taking a little bit of power. And here are my two GTX 680s sitting there looking very jealous, let me put it this way. So let's give it a first boot. I expect problems, but let's see. There you go, you've got the nice illumination of the GeForce GTX sign right there, the glowing green. It looks absolutely beautiful. If I just go a little bit down, you'll see that fan spinning properly. I'm just checking my PC for boot. So I always expect problems when you first put components in. There's always niggles and whatnot. What I did is that I uninstalled the drivers completely, did a couple of reboots as well, and all the drivers were uninstalled. So what I'm going to do is do a clean installation of the drivers, and then make sure it runs. So guys, I'm just booting up right now, as you can see, and I'm very excited. Hey, what's up guys? So I'm back, and right now the GTX Titan Black is currently benchmarking Heaven, as you'll be able to see, and it's just running through the tests right now. I'll show you the results.30 run a few, and I've run Valley. I just want to show you the wattage that it's taking right now. It's 330 watts. That is for the whole system, so do bear that in mind. That is the power plug for my PC, and therefore it gives you about 320 to 330 watts, which is very good in power consumption. As I said, 500 watts is my my actual SLI system, which is right here. So it's very impressive that 330 watts is very low for this. I must say I'm being very impressed with the benchmarks simply because my SLI system trumps it in Valley, for example. In Valley. So I've been very much impressed with my SLI system in comparison to a £750 card. So I'm just going to show you guys some of the results. And I did 2 runs on Valley, 2 runs on Heaven. And these are great benchmarks. I absolutely love them. Really nice as well to look at. Very eye candy worth. So it's always nice to see it. So here we go. Here are the Heaven benchmarks for the GTX Titan Black. As you can see, I've got 933 over there, and I've got 943, which is a decent score. But when I compare it to my SLI system, I have got over here, as you can see, I've got the single card. So a single card on Heaven is 574. That's a single 680 running the same specs. I should mention, by the way, I am on 144OP, so do bear that in mind. Don't compare it to 1080p results, which you might do, so just bear that in mind. That's Valley, so that's irrelevant to this one. And MSI, that's my other 680 on its own, doing 560. But with SLI, it bumps it up straight to 1000. As you can see, quite trumps the GTX Titan Black in max FPS. Look at that, 75 to 100. That's 30 FPS difference there, which is absolutely phenomenal for an SLI system to have. I did expect the SLI system to be good, but I expected the GTX Black Titan to be close to it at least, but in this respect, almost trumps it. And the results are even more significant when I go on Valley. So on Valley, the difference were even more significant. So I've got 1,700 or 1,760 in terms of the benches. But now if I go on my SLI system, I'll show you a single card Valley. So single card Valley was 1,137, which isn't bad for a single 680, which costs about £200 in comparison to a £750 card. So it's not bad at all. Again, my other card 1,110. But now on SLI, I go to 2,159. Look at that max FPS again, almost, well, just over 20 FPS difference right there. The average FPS there, a good, just almost 10 FPS difference there, which is quite big considering the SLI system cost me about £350, whereas the GTX Titan Black cost over £600. My friend got lucky for £600, but it was a brand new in box GTX Black Titan, which retails at £750. So a little bit disappointed by the results, I must say. I was expecting the GTX Black Titan to do a little bit better. But what the GTX Black Titan will do great in is that 6GB memory that it has. And here you go. I'm going to show you the clocks and everything on GPU-Z, as you can see. So it is lacking the core clock, as you can see. If I overclock this to maybe 1000, I don't know if it'll be able to do it, but if I overclock to 1000 for the core clock, then I'm sure I'd get absolutely great results out there for it. So yeah, that is the system specs for the GTX Black Titan. As you can see, the memory size and the bandwidth are really what does it. So now when I put Battlefield 4 and I put MSAA on there, my SLI system with 2GB of memory size really struggles, but the GTX Black Titan will absolutely trump it. And then now for its actual application, the reason why my friend got a GTX Black Titan is for development and coding, and you need a lot of memory bandwidth, let alone size for it, and this is where the GTX Black Titan comes from. If you really want it for gaming only, then get yourself a GTX 780 Ti. It performs like a Black Titan but is much cheaper to buy. So you have to consider what you're going to be using it for. And my friend, instead of going for SLI and limiting to 4GB or 3GB, should I say, memory size, he chose to go for a 6GB card, which allows him the headroom for development, coding, and whatever he chooses to do with it. And here is a little picture I took, 458 watts out the wall, and that was with my SLI system. It went up to 550 watts at one point. So 450 watts is what was running, and this, as you saw in the video, is about 350 watts. So the SLI system does draw a bit more power, so it's something else to bear in mind. It's pennies worth of difference, but it's just worth noting regardless. I should just show you, this is the specs of like my MSI GTX 680. You can see the memory size is only 2 gigabytes. Now when I compare it directly to over here, you can see the new chip inside, and it's running the GK110, not the GK105 or 104, sorry. And you can see the difference over here. And mainly the biggest difference comes down to these boxes over here. Your pixel fill rate, texture fill rate. Look at significant difference over there. 213.4 versus 135.6. Huge difference. Absolutely big. Then we talk about the bus width, the bandwidth, the memory size, and again you can see the GTX Black Titan absolutely trumps my single SLI, a single 680 over here. But you can see that my core clock out of the factory was 1059, whereas with the Black Titan it's only 889, almost like an AMD card that you'd find, like a 290X or something like that. It looks, you know, reminds me a bit of that, a bit of an AMD feature. AMD's usually had bigger memory size and bandwidth, but they had a lower GPU clock. But if you're overclocked, then it would be AMD to go for. But anyway, just thought I should share that with you guys, and that really does kind of conclude my video, simply because I don't really feel like running Battlefield 4 benches. I've done so many benchmarks. I've even got separate folders for them on hyper-threading on and off. Yeah, I've just done so many benchmarks, and I don't really feel like doing benchmarks for Battlefield 4, especially the fact that I can't compare an older build with a newer build. I have to do it at the same time, and I cannot do a single bench and say, yep, I can compare those two results. I have to do 10 benches per run, and that takes a lot of time, and unfortunately I do not want to spend that much time benching Battlefield 4, but I might do in the future. I don't know if I ever get bothered, but for the time being, these two Valley benches and the two Heaven benches give you a good idea of how a Titan Black should perform. Of course, Titan Black is not really made for gaming, so again, it kind of reinforces my point of doing, it's kind of pointless doing these benches on the game, because in all honesty, you might compare it to 780 Ti and say, what's the point? You know, again, it's not made for gamers, it's made for developers and people which need that extra memory. But on a final note, before I end this video, I should also note GeForce Experience. And it's quite nice on GeForce Experience because you've got the LED customization. So it's something I didn't have on my 680s. And that's simply because they don't have that LED customization. So you got the LED effects, you can turn it on, you proprietary alarm, and it's quite cool. You can change the style. So right now you can see the 100% brightness. I'm going to change it to 0% for you guys to see the difference. I'm going to leave the camera over here. There you go, and I'm going to turn it to 0%, and you'll be able to see it goes down. And if I turn it to just got in the middle somewhere, 51%, bam, and now 100%. There you go. It's quite nice. And then the styles, you got different styles. You got, for example, flashing, breathing, and everything. And you can customize that. Hopefully my camera's picking out, but that's like flashing twice, like that. I'm not sure if it picks it up, but yeah, you can change that all. And let me show you what I'm doing on the PC. You can change that all via this software, and it's really nice. It gives that extra bit of customization. And of course, you've got an expensive card in there. You like to customize it the way you want, make it look however you want to do it. So that's always nice. So overall, the card is absolutely great, but it is really made for developers and coders and people which are going to really utilize that extra memory. If you're not going to use it right now, even if you're on 144 OP, you're not really going to need that more than 3 gigabyte VRAM. I mean, some people would argue you could do with over 3 gigabyte, maybe 4 gigabyte is good. But in all honesty, I'm limited to 2 gigabyte, and I haven't really needed it, especially on 144 OP, where the AA deferred really doesn't make a difference at all. So even if you still image, I've hardly been able to tell the difference, let alone I'm running at 90 FPS or 70 FPS running through a battlefield and whatnot. So anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, this has been the EVGA GeForce GTX Titan Black, one of the pinnacle single GPU drivers out, single GPUs that you can find out there. Of course, there's the Titan Z as well, or Titan Z, however, from wherever you come, you can say that. And that is basically 2 GPUs in one chassis. But that is like the new beastly card. But as far as single GPUs go and in one enclosure and using one chip, then this is the pinnacle of it, and it's just an honor to have it and actually run it and see how it runs, and then compare it as well to my system. It's always nice. But again, huge shout out to my friend Kai, the developer of my website as well, which helped me out with that, and is always a nice dude to talk to, so do give him a shout. Check out his website in the link below, as I said before. And yeah, if you like these videos, make sure you like, and that was a kind of weird like, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, always helps, and do share and favorite this video. Hopefully that indication of the watts it was nice for you guys. I should also show to you right now that on idle it is on 80 watts, so that's the idle what it runs at. So 350 minus 80 is what the GPUs do when they turn on. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, take care. Totally dubbed out. Bye bye.